Hello, my name is Joseph May, and you're listening to Entrepreneur Stories.
Alright, kick back, relax, and grab yourself a beverage. A hop if you want to just bounce to my leverage.
Welcome back to Entrepreneur Stories. It has been a minute. We took a break, a long break. We just got overwhelmed with everything else going around here at Brett and Company, and it ended up taking the podcast ended up taking a back seat to our company. I've wanted to start it over and over again, and I finally just decided to start it with the limited time I do have because I enjoyed it so much. I learned so much from entrepreneurs. So we are back, and for our first interview, we're interviewing Thomas Marsh. Thomas is an entrepreneur, and he just launched a product on Indiegogo. It's called Metta Drink, or Metta Natural Energy Drink. The drink has no caffeine and is good for you. It's made from all these different herbs and different things they found around the world. So sit back and relax and enjoy this interview of a fellow attorney turned entrepreneur, and let us know what you think. All right, we want to welcome in today Thomas Walker. Thomas, thank you for sitting down with us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So it looks like you are starting a new energy business, or not energy, an energy drink business. A drink. What are they called, Thomas?
It's funny because in so many ways we're similar to an energy drink, but
Yes.
in a lot of other ways we're the antithesis. We're the exact opposite. So we call ourselves a natural awareness beverage, and we like to use energy drinks as kind of a mental framework to understand the idea and the purpose of the drink. But as far as ingredients and effects go, we're quite different.
So, out of curiosity, I'm on your page here, and I haven't seen anything about. Well, wait, really, what your ingredients are? I guess.
Yeah.
But they're not chemicals, right? They're natural. Kind
All
of
natural, yeah. It's all plants and herbs. We kind of set out to create something that was basically everything that we didn't like about current energy drinks and what we would want from a similar kind of drink. And so we used, and you know what, I have a fitness background, and I'm very big into the health and wellness space. So when I started to create this product, I took the same kind of attitude I take when I look at other products, which is, I wanted to look at what they were putting in it, how they were sweetening it, the type of ingredients, the preservatives, all these kind of things that are really important to myself, and I know to a lot of people out there because they care about what they're putting in their body. So
Yeah.
I can give you a rundown of what we got. The main stars of our ingredient, which we kind of juxtapose against caffeine and typical energy drinks. Most energy drinks, caffeine or some form of stimulants.
Mm-hmm.
We use adaptogens, which are a very broad kind of product category of natural herbs that have been used for millennia. It's been used in traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. The Vikings actually used to drink these before they went into battle to give them a boost. There's a great article too about how the Russians tried to use these to cheat in the Olympics before they had performance-enhancing drugs. It was adaptogens were their first performance enhancer. So it's a broad family, but we use rhodiola, ginseng, schizandra. That's our main kind of blend. And they are well researched, free of side effects, and everything that we claim is backed up by research. We didn't invent these ingredients and we didn't invent their use, but we just went to what had been researched and said, here it is. We're just gonna bring it to the people. We're just trying to bring out these. They're kind of esoteric and hidden. These ingredients, not many people know about them when you say adaptogens, but they actually have a long history of safe use and effectiveness as a performance for mental and physical performance.
So I've talked to a lot of people who've come up with business ideas. How did you get to energy drink, or antithesis of energy drink?
Yeah, it was kind of a mixture of circumstance, timing. I was in law school. I know you're also
really?
And look at
an
that.
attorney. Yeah, so I was in law school, but it was a weird coincidence that when I started law school, there was two professional CrossFitters who were in my group as well, and I became really close friends with them and started training with them. And one of them, he actually went on to win a national weightlifting championship in Canada. He's an amazing athlete, and he was in law school while doing all this. I don't know how, but
Wow.
he ran into what's really common with a lot of CrossFitters or high intensity athletes that train a lot of volume is he was also drinking caffeine nonstop to meet up with the demands of law school. And he ran into sort of an adrenal fatigue wear down of his body where stimulants started to no longer have any benefit for him. They just did nothing. He could crush a pot of coffee and would have no effect. And so he started working with a high performance nutritionist who put him on this adaptogenic tea, it was a similar kind of blend to what we have in the drink, a little bit different, but it was this weird tea that we had to go buy from a store in the middle of nowhere on a back shelf. It was the most difficult to find product, but it had a huge effect on him. He loved it. It made him feel better. And it was just, these amazing things. And I had that in the back of my mind. And probably 6 months later, a good friend of mine, the co-founder, we were talking about, life ambitions, what we wanted to do. And we both had the urge to kind of step out and start something. And we were just spitballing ideas. And I said, well, I know about this amazing tea that has all these health benefits, but for some reason it's so hard to find and no one really knows about it. And that was just the launching point.
That's amazing. So other than like your exercise background, you don't have like a background in herbal medicine or any type of training in that. It was just kind of learning and seeing an opportunity and taking that leap.
Totally. Yeah, I have probably enough. I mean, my technical training was in law, and my first degree was in political science. But I would say my passion has always been health and wellness. I've read every book there is that you can read on that, and it's something I'm truly passionate about. But when I was designing this product, we did work a lot with holistic kind of practitioners, naturopaths, herbalists, those kind of people. I live in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and we have lots of great natural pharmacies here. And I was in every day harassing them, asking them about ingredients and what was the best and dosages. But the final say on what we put in was really clinical research, and that's what we based all of our dosages off of in the final product.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you finished law school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you practice law?
I did for a year. I did a year as a corporate lawyer.
Okay.
And
Sold
then
your soul?
I sold my soul, exactly. I always told people picture the big box bad guys. That was who I worked for.
Yeah.
But now I just recently have decided to take the plunge and go after this full time.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I get this question all the time, and law school is a little bit less expensive in Canada, right, than the U.S. Okay. I don't know how much less expensive, but do people ever ask you, do you wish you still would have gone to law school?
Oh yeah, I get it quite frequently.
So I'm going to ask you that. Do you wish you would have gone to law school still?
Yeah, I think it was a really great experience. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you could look at the money and time investment and say, this or that. But I think that the world today is kind of two opposing forces, and one is the rigid business corporate structure, and that makes up a huge percentage of the world. And then on the other side, you have the creative energy of technology, of innovation. But you can't have one without the other. Even the most innovative companies need that, they need to be a corporation. They need to have a lawyer. They need to have an accountant. And I think it was really important for me to learn about that other half and to understand it and to not be afraid of it. Because to most people, an LLC or a whatever have you, it just scares them and they have no understanding and they just outsource it. And I think it hurts them because they don't really understand some of the bigger pictures, which is how does this scale? How do bigger companies interact with you? If you want to be acquired, how does that look? And all these kind of larger concepts become so much more easy to understand, and it takes a little bit of the pressure I find off of the creative side because you understand how these other things work.
Yeah, definitely. Very true. Yeah, I get that question. Not as much anymore since it's been so long since I've been doing my own thing. But initially, everyone was always like, "Hey, do you still wish you would have done that?" It's like I don't know. I always tell people there's no way I could do what I'm doing unless I'd gone to law school.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been. I think like the mental preparation and just like the absolute misery of practicing as an attorney. Because I did litigation. I did insurance defense for a little while.
Okay.
And that was like I would I just I didn't feel bad. I guess I didn't necessarily always feel bad, but I was just like I'm basically parachuting into people's life in their worst moment and
Yeah.
making it worse. Like that's
No
my
kidding.
and so I that's when I got out and I have never looked back. It's been but all that legal training is amazing as an entrepreneur.
Oh,
So,
the attention to detail that is
oh yeah.
cultivated in the legal world is invaluable when you
Oh
get
yeah.
into the entrepreneurial field.
Yeah, and just being able to reason and think through things at a higher rate of speed, I think,
Yeah.
um, than most, because you get that training in law school and as an attorney. But I digress. Sorry for digressing into law. Everyone who's
No,
listening,
all
who
the lawyers will appreciate this.
yeah, yeah, or people. I ran into someone, and now I'm going more, who was like, "I'm thinking about going to law school." I was like, Are you sure?" And he was like, "Well, I don't really." I was like, "Just, are you sure?" I was like,
Hmm.
"I'd go like to a law office and
Hmm.
work for a summer while you're in college. You don't want to get that far in."
Hmm.
But I was like, it can work for anyone, but I was like, make sure you're sure. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's
But
funny because when I left my firm, every lawyer always looks at you with a little bit of the "you're crazy, you're giving up this career
oh
for
yeah.
like a risk," and then the other half of them, like the other eye, is looking at you like a "please take me with you."
Yeah, yeah. When I launched my company, I had these emails from people that were like, "Do you need an attorney? Can I come with you?" Buddies I went to law school with, they're like, "Can I come with you?" And I'm like, I'm an attorney. I don't need you." And they're like, "I'm a better attorney." I'm like, "You probably are, but you're not coming with me." And
Yeah.
yeah, I'll occasionally run into people, and they're always like, "Hey, everything's good, man. Oh man, I'm so jealous."
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Anyone who's thinking about being an attorney, think long and hard. Long and hard. But so
Spend some time with an attorney and ask them
yes.
about their life.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, how often do you get home before 8? That's a question. That's a good question. But
Mhm.
so since we've digressed into the wonderful world of law. Sorry, my lips aren't working quite well.
That's okay.
Um so how long ago did you guys kind of get your formulation together and get ready to go?
The formulation of this was probably the longest part was, we had the initial idea, which was, okay, we want to use all natural herbs. We had like the idea of the product was, everything natural, everything healthy, create something that was good for you. And then going from there to an active, like finalized formula took a long time. We still have I have probably about 150 different herbs sitting in my storage from we order from China, we order from every European country. We have all the ones that we could buy in Canada. We went to the States and we just trialed everything. And from there, it was probably about a year and a half because then the other half of that was when we had our finalized formula. We took that to this company that specializes in flavoring beverages to really nail in, okay, we know this thing works now with the active ingredients, but we wanted to make sure it tasted good so people really enjoyed drinking it. Because as much as we're really confident in the ingredients and their effects they have on you, we also wanted to be confident that people would enjoy drinking it or we knew they wouldn't come back to it.
Yeah. So you guys have quite the team now.
Yeah.
4 people, right? Well, at least 4 on your website. Do you guys have other people that are helping you out?
There's obviously it takes a village to kind of start a company, but the four of us are the main go-to guys.
Okay. So, how did you guys all get together? What's kind of the who encouraged who to jump, I guess? Who was the first one to jump off the cliff?
Yeah. Well, my co-founder Ryan, he was the one I think that said he was the initial push behind the let's start a company. He's an accountant, so probably the only job worse than being a lawyer. And he was the one that lit the fire and said, let's do this. And I said, all right, let's do it. And then Andrew, he's actually a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and we had not lived in the same city since then. But he went to university out east in Canada, and then started working in Boston, and now he's in New York City, and has had a very successful career in consulting and all these sorts of things. And he kind of reached out to me. We were just talking about something else, and I said, hey, I got this company on the go, and he had a similar reaction to what a lot of people had. Is as soon as they kind of hear about the product, and as soon as they kind of get by the I would say disbelief factor. We have a lot of skepticism around the product, and it sounds like we're selling snake oil to some people.
Yeah.
And once he kind of got over that and really looked into our stuff and said, oh, okay, they're not just, this isn't just another one of these weight loss claim pills that you order from some sketchy website, that, we're using real ingredients, everything's clinical, everything's researched. He, the next day, basically was like, I want to get involved, I want to help out. And then Mitch is the fourth guy that we brought on, or the fourth member to join the team, and he came on fairly recently, and he was actually the Olympic weightlifter that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, you stole this idea from me, I need to get involved. And he's another lawyer, so he's a tax lawyer, works in Calgary, Canada, and he's got probably the most knowledge in regards to the fitness space. He's an amazing athlete and is also an amazing coach and really knowledgeable about that stuff as well.
So has he made the jump yet, or is he still doing tax law?
He's still doing tax law,
That
but
poor soul.
yeah, he calls me every day to commiserate. So as soon as it's possible, I'm sure that he will be looking for an exit into some greener pastures.
Yeah. So how have you guys been launching it? Because I did so a couple of things you've mentioned are things that whenever people ask me, like, well, how do I launch a company, or I want to launch a company, they always ask, how do I make the product, and how do I launch the product? Like, how do I start selling the product? So you talked about, you guys just started like looking, like getting stuff from China. How did you find all these herbs?
I mean, I'm sure that there's probably a better way to do it than what we did, but it was basically just talk to as many people as you can and just research things. We just, looked at other products, looked what they were using, and then tried to find any resource we could to get access to these distributors or to where people were selling them. And, whether it be big websites like Alibaba, or there's a lot of niche websites that it's crazy to me that they even exist, because they are so hard to find, but they exist. And so, I mean, that first kind of, anytime you're starting out looking to manufacture something or create something, I think you really got to cast a wide net, because it's pretty easy to just go with the first thing you find, and there's so many options, and it can be a little overwhelming, but I think it's worth spending that initial investment, because you don't want to launch something and get 20 steps down the line and then realize, oh no, I should have done that.
Oh yeah. So how are you guys launching it? So you guys you looked around on the internet, found stuff, and now how are you guys launching it? What's the launching plan?
Well, so it's, this is the thing where a lot of companies can run a very different style of launch compared to a beverage company. Beverage companies are notorious for being difficult to launch and difficult to scale, and that's why it for a long time was a market that was very hard to penetrate. But we were very confident that we had something that we thought was important and was worth doing it. And the reason is so hard to enter this market is that most production runs minimum you're looking at 60,000, 100,000, in a very large scale compared to getting 10 or 20, which you can do if you're getting custom made clothing. You can get them manufactured. You get 20 at a time. It's expensive, but you can still get small order sizes. For beverages, it's pretty hard to do a small production run, and so it was kind of you have to be really sure, and you have to be confident that you're going to be able to sell and move it. So that's why we started with crowdfunding to basically that's our market testing is the crowdfunding to see how it's received by people and to get as much feedback as we can on a larger scale without people actually trying the drink, so that we felt confident to go ahead and do the first large production run.
Exciting. So how is the Kickstarter going? Or not, sorry, the Indiegogo campaign. The crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah, it's been going well. It's been an intense learning experience. I think none of us had done any crowdfunding before coming into it, and I think crowdfunding has changed a lot recently. Now I would classify myself as a near expert in crowdfunding. We're only just over a third of the way into it, and it's been going really well. We've been getting an awesome reception so far, and but it's just been a crazy learning experience.
So you're launching on Indiegogo.
Yep.
And why did you guys choose Indiegogo over Kickstarter?
Well, I mean, this is actually a great story. We had initially gone with Kickstarter, and we had pre-approved everything. And this is, let me preface this by saying the bane of our style of product and this mischaracterization as an energy drink, being that people just don't, we don't get past that snake oil level where people think we're just another energy drink with fruit juice and 200 milligrams of caffeine, and we're just repackaged it, which is what a lot of people are doing nowadays. And I understand the kind of shields that people have up towards these idea of these drinks, anything, people that are concerned about just another fake product that's trying to be something that it's not. And so we were very upfront with Kickstarter and tried to get everything approved ahead of time, just, because they have a no energy drink policy. And we wanted to say, hey, we look like an energy drink and we function like an energy drink, but we're not. We're the opposite. We're no caffeine, so on and so forth. They pre-approved us. We launched, hit 20% in our first day, and then they pulled the plug on us and said they changed their mind and we were actually an energy drink. And it was a nightmare from an entrepreneur standpoint, but luckily Indiegogo was awesome, and we reached out to them. They worked with us. We moved the campaign over fairly seamlessly, and we've just kind of put it behind us. But that being said, I know Kickstarter has a huge number of benefits, and I know a lot of people are often torn between the two. And the one thing that I can say that has been so much nice with Indiegogo was they worked with us. They actually sat down with us. They had someone review our campaign and give us feedback.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
And that was, I really wish that we had done that from the start, because with Kickstarter, it was just, it was a wall. They just said, okay, pre-approved, that's it. And they wouldn't give us any feedback. Whereas Indiegogo went into detail and they met with us in person, and it was a really great experience working with them.
Yeah, I've worked with them a little bit on a couple of projects, and they are much easier than some of some of my experiences with Kickstarter. But so after you guys fund, what's how long will it take you to fulfill? Because most people I know that do them, they have to go over to Asia, make the product, then bring it back. Are you guys making yours in Asia, or is it going to be made in Canada, or?
It's actually going to be all made in the U.S., so we're going to actually have a very quick turnaround. We'll be finishing. Kickstarter will end early November. or not the Kickstarter, the Indiegogo. Look at me going now. The
I got you
Indiegogo
started. I'm sorry.
will end early November, and we'll have product hopefully beginning or end of January. So a really quick turnaround.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
That's because most people are like 6 months out almost to get a product out. So that allow
yeah.
you guys to really just get some momentum really fast.
Yeah, that's the plan, is to just use this as kind of the first step and then just immediately jump into it in 2018.
No, no, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, are you guys getting outside funding to keep going to like get in grocery stores, or are you gonna like push the online, like go after it online? Like, what's kind of the plan going forward after you close your funding with Indiegogo?
The plan, it's really going to be a split. As much as I really think our product will do well online, and there's definitely a lot more pickup with food products and consumables online, and I think it'll be easy for us to sell online and to build a lot of relationships with, Amazon or other online grocery retailers. The issue being our margins with online sales are way lower because shipping cans is a nightmare, basically. On a 6-pack, our shipping costs equal the cost of the product.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big push as well to really get this product out to where people can get it at it much easier. So we're doing our distribution outline is basically to attack anywhere that people will be buying these. So that's a lot of niche grocery stores, gyms, CrossFit studios, yoga studios, anywhere that our kind of ideal customer, health conscious, wellness, fitness people are going to be. So I think I don't know what it's going to end up being split wise, but I think it's going to be really important for us because we're a new product and there's a lot of kind of education that has to go around with explaining the product and its effects and distancing ourselves from kind of some of the misconceptions that exist around these kind of ingredients and making sure that people understand we're not caffeine and sugar.
So how do you do your marketing? I mean, I think that's the thing to me that seems the most complicated with running your own business is actually getting it out there, marketing it, getting people to hear it. Because you have to not only tell them, so I sell backpacks. It's very easy. People know what backpacks are. I show them a picture of my backpack, and they're like, I like that backpack. And then they buy our backpack,
Right.
Pretty simple like that. You have a much higher, much more difficult sell. Like, what is kind of the plan on that?
It's kind of a tiered setup of, first stage is just getting the idea out to people, and that how we kind of explain it to people really depends on where they're coming from. So if you're talking to someone that's looking for performance, you go, hey, this helps reduce your recovery time and it improves your endurance, and there's no sugar, it's 25 calories. And that kind of little pitch you have to get out to them, and then you can explain how it does that. But they all, if you're a high-end, like you're a cyclist, all you care about is your performance. You don't really care what, I mean, everyone loves supplements, everyone loves this and that, but what they really, the end of the day is to them is, okay, is this going to make me better? Is it actually going to have a noticeable impact on my training, on my performance? And versus if we're, marketing to the nootropic biohackers, people that are looking for the improved mental performance, I'm going to say, hey, this is a product that's going to reduce fatigue, improve mental performance, but not keep you up at night and allow you to have a restful sleep after drinking it at 7 or 8 p.m. Yeah. And, the student or the entrepreneur who hears that is going to go, okay, well, how are you going to do that? And so the first stage is, here's something that could help you. The second stage is, here's the science, the background, the how it's actually going to work. And then the third stage is just pushing that knowledge and that information out to people and making it available to them. Because most people, once they kind of hear our pitch, they go from skeptical to being very interested to being like, where has this been for so long? How come I've never heard about adaptogens if they're so effective and so powerful? And I always say, I don't know, I don't have an answer. Everyone else in the world is using them, but for some reason in North America, they've been a real slow pickup.
Yeah. So how do you get that message out? That
Yeah.
the three kind of points of the message that you guys are trying to get out. What's the plan to get it out? Because I know there's social media, there's paid
Hmm.
ads,
Hmm.
there's blogging, there's PR. Like, what's like the most powerful thing you guys are going to use to get that message out?
Social media is huge for us. We have, just the nature of the product is that it kind of lends itself to people that are doing interesting things, and those usually look really beautiful. Even though the product itself, we put a lot into the brand and making it be beautiful, but what we really are trying to push with our social media is the people that are using it and why they're using it and how they're using it. But social media is a big part of it, but I think that's kind of our supporting role. What really we're going to really push is really getting out there and talking directly with consumers. I think we have a mentor that works with our company, and one of the big things that he pushed us on was, as beautiful as this is and as amazing of a product as it is that people just won't educate themselves unless there's a reason and unless it's made easy to them. And the easiest way that you can make sure people are getting educated about the product is to physically go do it yourselves. And so part of that is going to be us directly through experiential marketing, influencing consumers, but it's also going to be making sure that anyone that's distributing our product is a believer in it. And so any gym that's carrying it or any niche grocer that's carrying it is going to be well informed so they can then educate their consumer. And it kind of, as soon as that initial education is done, then people will be able to spread it even further. But it's going to be a lot of direct marketing of our people on the ground explaining this product, and then supporting that through building a buzz and building a community through social media.
Yeah. So do you guys have samples out there right now that people are using and talking about on social media?
Yeah, we like samples for us are tough just because we're pre-production and they're
Mm-hmm.
basically offensively
Yeah.
expensive. But
Yeah.
we
Offensively.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's you tell people people are like, hey, can I grab a sample? And I go, sure, but just an FYI, right now they're about $80 US, including shipping, to get it to you. And they go, oh, okay, hold on, Liz. And but we did make sure that we had people that we felt were important, strategic partners,
Yeah.
get samples, and they've really been helping us. And it's funny because every time they are expensive, but every time we do it and I give it out to someone and their response, it makes a real gratification for me, and it's really validates what we're doing. And they go, well, can I get some more? And I'm like, it's coming, it's coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's samples I love, like whenever I'm launching a new bag or wallet.
Hmm.
The wallet we were actually able to get enough samples we could send them out, but the bags I'll have like, a bag in each color, and all these
Hmm.
influencers are like, "Yeah, let me get a bag," and I'll look at it. It's like, well, how about a picture?
Yeah, exactly,
So, I
exactly.
mean, now that we have other products out there, it's easier to get people to say, "Oh, well, I love these products, so I'm gonna like that one because it's
Right.
our design or whatever." But yeah, that first one, that is that is a mountain to climb. That's
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, well, I'm excited for you guys. I think this is really interesting. I don't get to talk to a lot of people in kind of the I guess I would classify it as drink and food space.
Hmm.
I run into a lot of people in kind of the product space that have designed something. I think this is really fascinating, and I hope
Yeah.
hope everything works out for you guys. Hope we can show a little love and help you guys get funded here. How far are you guys away from funding on Indiegogo?
We're at 33%, and we have just over 30 days to go. So we got lots of time,
Okay.
and yeah, we're pretty confident things are gonna keep getting better.
Cool, cool. And so do you have like, are you doing Facebook advertising right now with your campaign, or where's your kind of all your revenue coming from for your campaign?
This has been 100% organic so
Okay.
far. We're just starting to go into uh, the paid marketing
Mm-hmm.
this week. So we wanted to just kind of see where the product would land just with our outreach, and then from there kind of just boost it over. And so that's what we're starting this week is our official marketing and the non-organic stuff.
That's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we best of all, hopefully we'll send all the best vibes we have towards you
Thank you.
guys, and hope everything works out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, and let me get signed off here.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. We are going to try to do these once every 2 weeks for the foreseeable future. And thank you for listening in the past, and thank you for listening in the future. And please check out the Brett & Company, our company that is making all this possible. It's brettandcompany.com. And check out our bags and see the cool things we've been doing since we last talked to you. Have a good day.